Well, this is episode 366 of the 3 Point Podcast, presented by the Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center, voted the best health club gym for 2025 in our area, 3 straight years now. Make sure you follow the Wellness Center on Facebook for more details. We're also brought to you in part by Rivals Taphouse and Grille, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, Shiawassee County Fair, and ALS of Michigan. I know we got some things to catch up on, but the one thing I want to catch up on is my breath after being outside today. It was so freaking hot.
I thought you were going to say after you ate a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos or something like that, telling us about your breath. No, I mean, there's a heat wave all over the country, right? Except for like the Northwest or something like that. But I mean, it's been hot down here for the last 2 months, but Michigan has caught up. I mean, Jared's bald head right there. You just lifted your lid as red as a tomato, but I mean,
getting some sun.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going to the pool basically every day since we've been back from Michigan because we have to either sit inside in the air conditioning or go to the pool is basically the option. So no, it sounds like Michigan is also dealing with the heat wave.
I've been loving it, man. It's dealing like you just gotta know how to like frame your mind. Like obviously it doesn't suck if you're like running around all day outside, like, and it's absolutely hot. Yeah. But like, to me, it's like, okay, I know I'm going to shower. I got to last 5 seconds before I get into work and then get back out of work. Let me just go for a walk in this heat, like sweat into it, like sit outside. I think it feels great, especially with really, this is the first like a long stretch we've had this summer. It feels like the summer just started like a week ago in terms of weather. So I'm enjoying it. It's, like I said, I popped off like Matt said, I went for a walk, popped off the hat, popped off the shirt, just get the sun beaten down. Probably not good for my head or for my, I don't know, skin, I guess. But I've never.
Some vitamin D.
You guys are going to be like, this is the biggest BS. I've never been sunburned in my life. I don't put on sunscreen. I don't get burned. I worked at a landscaping company for a whole summer outside every day. Never put on sunscreen once. Never got burned.
Did you wear long sleeves?
I wore long sleeves like half the time, but I didn't like. Wouldn't you think you'd get burnt like on the back of your neck or something? I don't know. I just people think I'm lying. Maybe I'm just a superhuman. I don't get burnt, so I'm putting it to the test this week. Walked for an hour yesterday in this heat wave, pure midday, 2:00, sun beating on you. Walked again for an hour today, still no burn. I'm gonna go for another hour tomorrow. I mean, wouldn't you say that's grounds for getting burnt?
I would think. I mean, it's that Armenian blood you got. That's what it is.
When I say that to people, they are like, "No, you're not," because I literally am whiter than a ghost. So, I mean, also at this point, I'm like diluted to like what, an eighth Armenian. So it's
something like that. Yeah,
it sounds like me. I mean, I have Native American in my family history on my dad's side.
Right.
So my dad has more than me, obviously, and I swear he would go out and mow the lawn one time, the first time mowing the lawn in the summer every year, and be perfectly tan,
right.
No sunburn or whatever. And my wife always says that about me, like one time out at the pool and I'm already starting to tan. So I think there's something to that. I'd still get burnt though if I overdo it. So you saying you've never been sunburnt is a little.
I don't think I've ever.
You almost need to ask your dad about this.
I'll get red, but I don't think I've never like peeled. I don't know. I've never been like, man, I'm burnt. I need the aloe vera or whatever. I think I'm immune, man. I guess if there's ever like a zombie apocalypse where they're affected by that, I guess I'm safe. I'd be Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us. Don't even get me started on that show. But so I had a wedding this weekend in this place it was in Houle. Place is called Venue 111. This is right up your alley, Ted. Oh. The old Houle High School, built in 1910. It's been converted into a wedding venue. Freaking awesome. Sweet. So the actual wedding, it takes place in the quote unquote the Nova room, which is the old gymnasium, has the upper seating, 3 sides with windows all around. It's like I walked into it, I'm like, dude, I just want to put the hoops down and start like shooting jump shots for like the next hour. It's awesome, like something straight out of Hoosiers. Then like I'm in the wedding party, so you go down and you're getting ready in like this old locker room, like just like an Owasso middle school locker room with the concrete walls all around, concrete slabs around you. And then the coolest part, the actual bar was in the old library. Like, so they still have the old bookshelves up and you walk right up to the, like basically what used to be the, librarian's desk is now been hollowed out and turned into a walkout bar. It was just freaking awesome. It was for my buddy Cooper and his now wife Bree. It's awesome. It was just a good time, good wedding. I will say it was probably the youngest crowd I've seen at a wedding. I don't know what you do with that, but it felt like it was about half and half of like 20-year-olds and then like obviously older people. So it just was an awesome time, but I was blown away by this venue. It's awesome when you restore these places. It had me thinking, like, I went back and watched the old Eminem Beautiful music video where Tiger Stadium's getting torn down from him. He's at the old Packard plant, and then he's at the old Michigan train station. Because that train station, I just went and saw it a few weeks ago. It's been redone, and it looks freaking awesome.
It's beautiful.
When you
just did a concert there, right?
I know Owasso Middle School has been being saved and turned into apartments. We saw the old high school in Corona got turned into apartments. Cavalier Green now. That's the coolest thing you can do. I just am always blown away by those types of places. Like, that was such a unique wedding venue that's what I think I'm gonna remember most maybe from that wedding. It was very cool.
So I'm curious though, in old high school, so the gymnasium was the venue. I mean, high school is pretty big. Is it still the whole high school, or did some of it get demolished?
It was like 2 or 3 venues, but we only were in the one, which is like a main one with that gym. Like there was another whole other side of the school that like we didn't even see. And what was a nice little touch is like, so think about when you walk into high school, they got the trophy cases, right? Mm-hmm. So for this wedding, they got all these different pictures of the bride and groom. Like,
so you still use the trophy case.
I'm like, this is freaking. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
I got to see some photos on that, man. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, venue 111. 1 and 11 are spelled out in Houle.
I mean, you got to think that this is what people have always said, whether it's about old schools, old hotels, or whatever. It's already all established. I mean, a school already has a kitchen. It already has, public restrooms. It already has locker rooms. Like you said, like it's basically already there. Just needs a little bit of refurbishing and stuff to make it into a venue. But, the infrastructure, I guess, the bones are there, as long as it's not like dilapidated and falling apart. But there's in Bristol, where the ESPN headquarters are in Connecticut, there's an elementary school that closed, and they turned those into kind of like, not like upscale, but like nice apartments. And a couple of my friends that I worked with lived in those. And on the roof, they made it into like a huge rooftop hangout area with like hot tubs and like a beer garden type of place and stuff like that. It was like, why don't more places do this? Like again, the bones, everything is already established in there. It just takes a little bit of work to refurbish it. But
yeah, I think a little bit of work, but a lot of times it's more money than you think, because a lot of those old buildings have asbestos in it,
lead paint or something.
Electrical's not to code. There's a lot of money that has to be tied up into it. But a lot of these places though do end up getting government grants, and I'm not sure we're listening on that.
Exactly. Right. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. Somebody explained it to me. Maybe it's just because it's as quickly as you could build something. Our architecture, like every 10 years, has gone like way downhill. It's like something built, like this school built in 1910 is cooler than the high school you see built a year ago.
Right.
There's more charm to it. It feels like a high school. It actually feels like a home. Whereas you almost go to these other ones, it feels like it's like a factory almost. So it just, you gotta keep those alive. Like you said, that's why it's a big deal. Those tax breaks and stuff like that, or grants, as you put it. That's something that's important to me as a loser. Like that's the type of YouTube videos I watch. An old high school getting like redone, or like I'm not kidding you, Ted. I actually can't believe you haven't maybe checked out that train station. Have you?
No, I have not. I watched the concert with Eminem, but no, I haven't been down there yet.
Freaking awesome. And they have, they got the pictures of what it used to look like. It was literally something out of a horror movie, and somebody with a little bit of heart and dedication, and you keep one all-time piece of historical a historical landmark, you keep it going. It's cool.
Well, no, it's when you see, I've seen people sharing pictures and videos on social media of like fast food restaurants, like the old Subway, the old Pizza Hut, the old even McDonald's or whatever. Like you're talking about character and all that kind of stuff. They were fun back in the day, colorful and plants and, a ball pit. I know we don't want to play in ball pits anymore, but all that kind of stuff. And now you go to if you go to like a brand new build McDonald's, it's almost depressing. It's just like black and gray. And like, you don't even want to go in there and get a burger. Like it's it's depressing.
The most embarrassing example of it is I just had this feeling 2 weeks ago. So they built a brand new Culver's like a mile up the road for me, which is not good. One, for my money or for my health. But so I went there, and like you think about like Culver's doesn't really have that much charm, but it kind of does. Like when you go in and sit inside a Culver's, like there's something kind of nice to it. This looked like a McDonald's. Like I was like, what even is this place? This has lost everything. I don't even want to sit in here. I just want to get my food and like get out. I've never felt that way about a Culver's, as weird as that sounds. Yeah. They're still a good sit down area, but even they're losing their appeal.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad to hear. I always kind of put them maybe one step below Chick-fil-A in the way they operate. Because I always like what you get at Culver's and the service you get and everything else. So that is a little disappointing to hear.
Yeah, it doesn't quite feel like fast food. It feels like a step above fast food a little bit. So no, it is cool hearing about those. So we've talked about bachelor parties and how they've become destination places. Jared and his buddies always going out to Hawaii for golf trips. You know, you gotta break the bank just for a bachelor party nowadays. That's kind of what some weddings have become. I mean, Ted, back in the day, you'd go to the local church and you'd have your wedding, and then there was probably one little reception venue in town, and that's where your reception was for the most part.
Right.
Unless you had a friend with like a huge farm or backyard and you did it there. I mean, that's what most weddings probably were. But now you've got these. Not that Houle is some like destination place or whatever, but you know,
pick out where you do it. Yeah, I agree. It seems like everybody in my family, my aunts and uncles, they all got married at like the same spot. It seems like is that true?
Well, it was kind of limited. I will say that there's a lot more out there nowadays, and this place in Houle sounds phenomenal. There's a barn that's been refurbished out here in my area on Bennington Road that's just fantastic on the way to Langsburg. But yeah, there's many more choices nowadays. And it's funny you brought up the part about the bachelor party thing, Matt. I don't know if you shared it on social media or texted us, but some dude nailed it 100% on my feelings on what the hell is going on out there with bachelor parties.
No, a TikTok video for listeners. I shared with you guys because I was just scrolling TikTok and this dude went off on a rant about what bachelor parties have become. Basically, exactly what Ted has said. So it was just kind of funny, but I think it's partly probably too. I mean, weddings have become a little less traditional, probably, right? I mean, it used to really be like a religious ceremony, so you would go do it at a church. Some people may still be doing that, but they're not necessarily like, we have to do it at a church. We'll go find a venue or we'll go find something else or whatever. It seems like that's kind of becoming a thing too.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I'll just push back on the bachelor party thing because I get the crap for it. This is awesome. You guys, I think you guys are more mad that you missed the boat on this. Like it's a get out of jail, it's a getaway free card where, hey, like you think about your buddies, like it's a way to get everybody together again. Because you're like, you don't want to be the guy like, hey, I'm having my bachelor party. Like, oh, I can't make, like, that's almost like an unwritten rule. You got to make it. You got to do whatever you can to make it, pretty much. And so it's like, hey, if we're going to Scottsdale, guess what? You don't have it. It's almost like a guilt-free trip to Scottsdale, where it's like, well, it was for my buddy's bachelor party. It's like I can't not miss it. I can't miss it. Like, maybe the money or whatever it was. Like, I'm in Scottsdale for a week. Like, I don't feel guilt about it. Everybody does it. Everybody's got their wedding. Everybody clears the schedule for that bachelor party. It's why not do something fun with it? I'm almost bummed now. I'm at the point where I'm bummed, like where I got buddies like, oh, I'm gonna do it at my cabin in Caseville. It's like that kind of sounds kind of like, that's the point where I'm at. Like that
sounds amazing.
Watching the X-rated videos, that sounds like we're taking a page out of his book.
Oh yeah, I'm glad those days are done. Let me tell you that.
So to me, it's like it's a like I would feel like think about it. You don't feel guilty inviting your friends to do it. It's like this is like, hey, let's do this. Let's have fun.
Let me ask you a question on that, because there's only one thing that bothers me about it is, what if there's a friend that really can't afford it, but you're saying, yeah, you come do it, you know? That's the only thing. That's my only drawback. I feel sorry for the one that can't afford it and then is pressured and he has to do it.
It's, I mean, when you think about it, what is the cost? There's a pretty slim amount of people that can't afford whatever that is, $300 plane ticket. And then once you get there, it's like, you know, like I think about it, like the one I was on in Scottsdale, it's like one guy covered the entire bill, $600 bill at a bar. Or it's probably 100 drinks we probably had.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty amazing.
And everybody chips
in. Maxed out a credit card.
Pay for the Uber when, like, I think you know your group pretty well. You're not leaving anybody out on an island in that sense.
So, bachelor party in Arizona, are you out of there under $1,000?
Yeah, I mean, well, you can spend as much as you want or as little as you want. Like I said, if you're feeling generous, like, okay, let me cover the tab.
Okay,
let me pay for the Uber from this car further away. Yeah, it's or like when I think about me, no, because we played 2 rounds of golf.
Right.
But that's not me. Like, it wasn't like they're putting a gun in my head. You got to play a round of golf. Like, half of the crew didn't golf. The other half did. If you want to, great. If you didn't want to, great. So
I'm with you.
No, I say that kind of jokingly because those trips sound amazing. And I still, my generation, it was this is why these conversations work so well with us. My generation was when that stuff started. There was a lot of bachelor parties, like what you said, going up to the family cabin up north, but people were it was starting to transition because like going to Grand Rapids was a big deal. You'd go get like a hotel downtown Grand Rapids. Right. Or you'd go downtown Detroit and get a hotel. So that's where it was like starting to move to where it was like, let's actually go somewhere, you know? So now for your generation, you guys are going to be flying to Finland for your next bachelor party or something like that.
In my generation, porno films in a basement. Boy, that was fun.
And there's a lot of things I'm envious of both your guys' generations. That is one you guys are wrong on. That's been a good development. That's a good one. There's not a lot of them, I would say, from, you know, the golden age, as we would call it back in your day, Ted, when you were really at your peak in 80s or whatever.
Yeah,
that is one that is definitely not worth the hatred, and that's a good upgrade. That was a good upgrade that I think everybody can appreciate.
All right, that's fair. Like I said, I was only worried about the poor guy that really can't afford it, but you're talking me more into it, man.
Because you don't want to put that buddy in a weird spot or make them open up a credit card and go into debt or something just to go to this.
And that was
this is where my generation comes in.
But
we had those bachelor parties. You're good. We had those bachelor parties. We had digital cameras, but there wasn't social media and people on their phones the whole time. So the only memories of those are right here in our head. Maybe a couple disposable camera photos or something like that. That's about it.
Well, it's like what's ironic about the money thing is like, so when they were going golfing the second time, I was kind of I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play, but like I don't really want to spend the money. Like I don't got the money for it. And then they all go, well, we'll pay for it. I'm like, no, you don't got to pay for it. I'll pay for it. Now I got to go.
So you were guilted. You were guilted into it.
Well, no, they were going to cover it, but I was like, I'm not that dire in money. Like I can pay for it the same way you guys can. It's just like,
okay.
You know, if I had it. So no, I had a good time. It was that talking stick. That was when it was brutal, man. That was when I was like 100 and I had the wet towel in my face all around. And that was the last day of it. We were there, so it was running on fumes, man. But yeah,
no sunburn though. No sunburn.
No sunburn.
Does not burn.
Again, no sunburn. I'm telling you, it's the dumbest story and nobody cares, but I'm kind of putting it to the test this week.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, man. Well, it's hot enough this week to test it out. That's for sure.
So best part of this entire venue, I just got to throw this out there. I almost forgot. We talk about the schoolhouse theme. The best part, the shuttle that takes you from the venue to the hotel.
Literal school bus.
So,
perfect.
It was, dude, you got 50 drunk people piling into this school bus. That was the best part. It was like a 15-minute ride, and it just was all time, man. Like you got people trying to start the wheels on the bus go round and round, man, stuff like that. You got my buddy
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Going up to somebody, grabbing him on his collar. Give me your lunch money. Just stupid stuff that when you're drunk was like the funniest thing you ever heard. So, but that was awesome. I'd never seen that. Literally a Flint like school bus taking you from spot to spot. That was the best. That was the perfect way to cap off the night.
So is the school bus? Is it still the school bus seats?
Yeah, like
2x2 or whatever.
It could be in commission tomorrow for Corona Public Schools. Like it was awesome. Yeah, just good vibes. A good way to end the night. So I almost forgot that. I had to throw it out there.
So wrapping up. Great time for you the whole night.
Yeah, honestly, a great wedding. It's like that's like I'm in the summer of the weddings right now. I got 6 of them. You know, like a few of my good buddies are getting married. That was one of my good buddies, Cooper. Pretty surreal to see him get married. Like you never like it was the same way from when my brother got married a few months ago. It's like it just doesn't seem like you're actually living that. It's something you probably thought about your whole life, like it's going to happen at some point. But once it's actually there. And we've had this long build up since that bachelor party in March. You know, that feels like it was just yesterday. Right. Now the wedding was here. It was a good time. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say because you never thought he was going to get married. But.
Well, that too. But no, he's found Bree is awesome. They're like they're a perfect match. Like, honestly, I do really believe that. I think they're going to be just fine with each other. So
nice.
Good deal. Well, I want to thank our other partners. They include AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori Shook and Associates Real Estate Services, and Nelson House Funeral Homes. When we get to the prep spotlight, we have one a special one today. Later in the program, we'll have Aaron Houle from @Flint Prep Fan. We'll talk some football, kind of get prepped up for high school football a little later on. But we'll take a break right now and come back, see what's going on in the sports world. All right, guys, we're recording this on Monday night. Sunday night was the NBA final. We don't have to get into too many details on the game. Thunder beat the Pacers, though. No problem in the second half, even though the Pacers led by 1. But the whole Achilles thing is just, it seems rampant in the NBA.
It does. It's just crazy. I mean, just this playoff run alone, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and then Tyrese Halliburton there in Game 7. I mean, those are three of the best players, the best players on their teams anyway. So, I mean, it's just kind of crazy because it seems like this injury is becoming like the Tommy John of the NBA. I mean, Tommy John anymore. If you hear of a guy getting a Tommy John, and I mean, Jackson Jobe is getting it for the Tigers, but if you hear of guys getting that in the MLB, it's just like, oh, okay, yep, go ahead and do that surgery and you'll be back in 8 months. Nope,
spring training. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it seems like the Achilles is happening more. I've seen a bunch of theories or explanations people are throwing around. The one that's kind of funny, but might actually have some merit is the shoes. I mean, people talk about, I mean, Jared, you know that all of a sudden you went from the high tops to the low tops to play basketball in, and people are saying those low tops, even though they look good, not as much ankle support. But I mean, Ted, back in your day, Ted, you guys played in Chuck Taylors,
right?
With
there was no ankle support with those.
So, I mean, I don't know how much I put into that. The one that I think could have some merit, I saw some people breaking down, like I saw, it was like a big old graph. The pace of play in today's game is faster. It's back to like 1970s basketball. 1970s was super fast, just up and down the floor. And then it started to slow down. I mean, we all remember the 80s, 90s, early 2000s with those 2004 Pistons. I mean, the final score of those games were like 84-80, So I could see that. I don't think it's a workload thing. These guys are playing as many games as probably they've been playing for years, but I just wonder if the pace is catching up to guys or something like that. But either way, that's a lot of words to say. It sucks because Halliburton was starting to go off. He had 3 threes when he blew out his Achilles, and the Pacers might have stole that game if he was healthy.
That's my take. I think they would have won. I know it's lame to say that, but I mean, when you saw the guys who had big games, like even without Halliburton, like I was like, Mathurin played great, McConnell played great. You would have got contributions from those two. Halliburton, some games he's scoring like 0 points, some games he's scoring like 30. Clearly, he was on his way to like a 30-point game. I mean, was there ever any doubt that he was going to be ready for Game 7? I mean, there wasn't. That injury was freaking brutal. I've never seen anything like There's something like, I mean, there's certain injuries like the DeMar Hamlin, like where it's like kind of like you just lose your breath and you're just like, I can't believe that just happened. Like that was the like saddest thing I've ever seen. His reaction to it, like sometimes when players tear that ACL, like Dame was like, it was like he didn't even have a reaction, like I'm done, right. Like he knew it. But when it's there, when you can see the anguish and probably just him fast forward, like realize I'm gonna be in rehab for the next year. I'm in Game 7 of the finals. I'm lighting it up right now. Like just everything that went into that was just as cruel could be. I'm with you. It's the miles that these guys are logging on their bodies, and it's the pressure we put on them. I mean, back in the 70s, you pull a calf strain, you ain't playing. You're done. Probably you probably already got a beer in your hand on the bench and a cigarette ready for as soon as the game is over. But nowadays, it's like it's all so public knowledge. Like you knew his calf was strained. We knew that means obviously you're a lot more likely to tear an Achilles. We saw that with Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals, ironically enough. A few years ago. But what is he supposed to do? It's like, how do you not play that Game 7? How do you not play in the NBA Finals? It's like he played like a warrior, man. He played well, and it just was bad luck. But it's exactly what we said. They're playing way too many miles now. They're playing way too many games. It feels like the playoffs have been going on for 4 months. Maybe that's realistic. Has it been 4 months? It for sure feels like. It feels like there was snow on the ground when it started, and now we're in a 110-degree heat. It's like, you tell me what that means. It's too many games. I've been saying it. They're never going to get rid of it. They're never going to lessen it. We just got to live with this. Sometimes there's going to be playoffs where you look at the Thunder, every series, a key player got hurt against the team they were playing. A lot of people are saying there's asterisks on it. I wouldn't say that.
No
I think
way.
they still win all those series. But at some point, man, it lessens the product. I just think you got to – even people are saying, oh, let's play 5 games instead of 7 games in the playoffs. I think the playoffs are fine. Let's get it down to 60 games in the regular season. It's going to make 60. It's going to make the product so much better. I know they're not, and I know that's people that are working on those games, and it's important to see those games. But it's
a lot less work, man.
I know, and I'm in there, but it's like, don't you kind of agree that's that's the way to improve this product overnight. It's brutal when you see the best players aren't even making it to the end of the game. That was an all-time game that we had ripped from us, and I was just like pissed when it happened. Like, and I was pissed at the world. I wasn't even pissed at anybody or anything or any league. Just pissed at the situation, and that seems to be a way that we could dial it back just a hair. And the NFL does it too. The NFL keeps adding games. Maybe for whatever reason, NFL we view it differently because it's just such a physical sport that you almost just take injuries into it. Like the best players are going to get hurt. Like this is just what happens every year. These guys get hurt. But I don't know. That was a gut punch.
Yeah, it really was. And I do agree with both your guys' points. I mean, the grind of the schedule that they have to play and the pace of play, both of those, I think, are factors in these Achilles that we're seeing out there. One nice thing, I kind of segue and say it's a nice thing. The Pistons, they're in pretty good position right now.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, in the East, because those three guys that I mentioned, Tatum, Lillard, and now Halliburton, those are on three of the top teams in the East. You have to assume those three are probably going to be out maybe all next season, but they won't be back until around playoffs anyway. The Cavs obviously are still there and the Knicks, but I mean that if anything that should make the Pistons say, look at one move away from possibly being a favorite in the East next season.
I mean, well, it's funny you bring up that they are one piece away probably. They lost out on Durant, but Greek Freak maybe coming, maybe
not. To me, I look at Booker. To me, I think the Suns are like on the brink of about to tank.
Yeah,
I keep an eye on Booker. I'd wait till maybe All-Star break. When he requests the trade, wait for him to request the trade, and then his value goes down, or at least they have no choice but to basically trade him. It's like to me, if you have a deal centered around Jaden Ivey and a few draft picks for Devin Booker, it's like I'd do it tomorrow. And the thing is, like, he's been teasing the whole Detroit thing. Like, his contract's not up for another 2 years. And he still has a player option after that. He could be there for 3 more years. By then, it's like this Pistons team is totally different. Probably, like, who knows if we're even still in the window. Exactly what you laid out with injuries and the fact that East is as open as it's ever been. Really, the NBA as a whole is as open as it's ever been. The time is now. We were not that far away. Like, let's go do this. Make that move and push all the chips in. I know it's a young team, but to me, it's like, bring Devin Booker in. I don't see any reason. I don't see any downside to it, really.
I do wonder too if you talk about games. I feel like we've talked about this before, or maybe I've brought it up, and this isn't a shot at the older generation. It seems like often these conversations go to taking a shot at Ted's generation, and I'm
not used to it.
But I've heard older players talk about how different it is nowadays in the sense of their off seasons were actual off seasons. Mm-hmm. Even Michael Jordan would talk about when his seasons ended, he went away. He golfed. He golfed for the next 3 months, got away. You actually let your body recharge. These dudes, whether it's the Olympics or if there's something else that they got to do, or if they're not in the gym, kind of like what you're saying, Jared, people will rip them because they're not in the gym working hard enough. They're not putting in the minutes like Kobe, like LeBron, or, whatever. So it's like you're expected to be in the gym your whole life, 365 days a year. And it's like, that's probably not healthy.
And think about the best teams. Their offseason is like 2 months, the Pacers. Like they're back in 2 months at training camp. Like they don't even have an offseason. It's a 10-month season. It's nuts.
It is crazy. And I've seen people say too, we've talked about it in many different forms, different sports, how athletes nowadays are playing one sport. And I've seen people say that a lot of these guys probably grew up as kids, maybe playing multiple sports, but then at some point started only playing basketball, whether I was in high school or whatever. But I've seen people say that there's some science behind playing other sports to develop your overall body and your muscles and being able to withstand, the grind of a full season. And I wonder if at some point there's going to be a deeper study into that, if athletes start getting all these injuries and they start saying, oh, it's because these kids at 8 years old started only playing one sport. Mm-hmm. So they never developed their body completely, I don't know.
I think there's something to be said for that.
Did you guys did you ever think during that game, like, man, they might be able to pull off this all-time win without Albert?
No. Not when TJ McConnell was the guy carrying the load.
He was balling for a minute, man. That was awesome.
McConnell, he's a dog. I would love to have him on my team. but you're not going to win a game 7 with TJ McConnell carrying the load. They needed Siakam. They needed Siakam to just go out there and have a 35-point night. And he tried, but couldn't do it.
The big question, Jared, did you lose money?
Yeah, I got killed. Oh no, well, I can't even say that. I've been riding the Pacers all playoffs. They've been a cash cow, man.
Okay.
So over the course of the whole thing, no, and basically if you took money line every game this series, like, and they were at least plus 200 every game, plus a couple plus 300s in there, it's like it was easy. So no, it was a bummer because I really did think that they were gonna win that game, and I had them to win the series at 6-1, but it just, as soon as he was out, like, everyone's texting like, man, maybe they can, like, and it kind of felt somewhat like they could keep it close, but you knew they were done. The wind was out of the sails. The way that was, that's what makes that Louisville team from whatever that was, 2013, with Kevin Ware. That was like, you talk about the wind getting taken out of your sails and then you just bounce right back and you win. That's why they were a true champion. And the Pacers were close to that too. Like, I was really impressed with McConnell, but you just don't have the horse. They barely maybe didn't even have the horses with Halliburton.
Right.
So.
And let me ask you guys a hypothetical. We talked about Durant going to the Rockets now. If you were the Pistons, would you have made the same type of deal?
No, I wouldn't personally. I mean, Kevin Durant, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll be in the Hall of Fame the minute that he retires. He's probably the best international player ever. Fantastic player, all that kind of stuff. He hasn't won a damn thing on a team without Steph Curry. And I don't think he was on a super team with Brooklyn. He was on a super team in Oklahoma City. He was on a super team in Phoenix, and he's never won anything. So no, I'm glad the Pistons didn't pull the trigger because they would have had to give up Ivy, probably Jalen Duren.
Right.
Who knows who else?
How many
probably
picks?
Another veteran. And then, some picks for Durant, which cool for a year or two. You got Durant and Cade Cunningham, but is that really going to get you over the top in the East?
Right.
Maybe, but no, I'm glad they didn't. Again, Kevin Durant, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but
for sure. I agree with you too. And the other factor, he's 37 years old, or going to be 37 before the season starts.
Who also blew out an Achilles. So, I mean,
he has a tendency to implode teams that he goes to. Suns were, and this was maybe Ishbia, even though he claims he had nothing to do with it. Ishbia coming in, the quote unquote new owner syndrome, like a team that was like a win away from the NBA final, winning the NBA finals, basically. Next thing you know, it's like an entirely different squad a year or two later.
Right.
They jumped on the Bradley Beal grenade. They just did a lot of stuff that was just idiotic. But then we saw with the Brooklyn Nets too. They went to the Brooklyn Nets like, wow, they have so much cap space, like they're ready to, take off. Next thing you know, they're imploded. I love Kevin Durant. I really do like him. I think it's maybe just bad luck more than anything. But to me, maybe it's more the fan of me. It's like, I'm ready for the Pistons to make a splash. We saw how, maybe it's just because I got a taste of them actually being good for the first time really in my life that I can remember. I'm ready to make that splash move that has ESPN talking for an entire day, whether it's Kevin Durant, whether it's Booker. I would have been okay with it. But to me, this, from what I was reading about Kevin Durant, is they had a lot of better offers on the table, the Suns, but he wouldn't agree to go to places. So basically he essentially forced his way to Houston, which to me, Adam Silver is a problem. Like, we got to figure out a way to solve this trade request, forcing our way. We got to find out some way to solve that. I don't know how you do it, but that to me is another big problem with the NBA.
Yeah, I just don't know if a splash trade is what gets the Pistons over. Because, I mean, you look at the Pacers, and they didn't have to do that.
Right.
Look at the Thunder. They built through the draft. The Celtics basically built through the draft. I mean, you do have to add guys here and there. But making like the splash move, like getting Giannis, they'd have to trade the whole franchise to get Giannis, and I don't know if that's going to do it.
Agreed.
So, yes, they do have to add something. Because,
in today's era, too, it's becoming more of a team concept, right? I mean, you still got to have a superstar. Got to have, and Pistons have him, Cade Cunningham, and they got the good young talent around him. I don't know. I don't know if they need to make a big splash.
The big thing I think is if Ivy can come back and be what it was looking like he was going to be, that'd be big. But
it all comes down to him. To me, it's
right.
and he is very divisive among Pistons fans. Like, I'm not sure about him. But I think a lot of other, but you're exactly right. He played great this year. I don't know. It's to me, he's the last piece to the puzzle. If he ends up being that guy, an all-star caliber player, like, wow, like they really might win the East next year. Like, to be honest, I would be curious to check what the odds are on them to win the East. I would guess it's hot, very high, and it's only going to go down I really think that they're. I can't wait for next year, man. I think they really are poised to be a top team in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, congrats to the Thunder. Young team. They're fun to watch, and it's cool to see a city like OKC. I mean, those fans were bonkers, man. It's great to see these smaller markets. Kind of. You didn't like it?
Well, no, it's awesome, but like I was thinking, like, man, like they're on offense and they're chanting, "Okay," like, dude, you just almost got to shut up. Like, just let them. Like, it's almost distracting. Like how loud you guys are. It's awesome. Yeah. They have the best fans, and they get they're the only team that still does the shirts. It seems like the shirts are an awesome touch.
Yeah. All blue, man. That was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the stripe out and everything. Like when the Big House, when Michigan football tries to do that stuff, it doesn't really. They don't pull it off, but OKC does.
You got to guilt people into it. You really do. There's always always the guy that's too cool for it. There's always that guy, and it's like, dude, just put on the goddamn shirt.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, before we get to our interview, just a couple quick comments on the Tigers. It is summer, obviously, here in Michigan. Best record in baseball, 8.5 games up on the Guardians as we record. A little bit of a slump. They had a 3-game losing streak, but they're still sitting good. And do we have anything to be concerned about?
We're talking about injuries, man.
Yeah.
And sports and their problem. Can baseball and MLB figure this out? And not even just pitchers. Pitchers are hurt every day. Every day a new pitcher on the Tigers is hurt.
Right.
Just to get another 100 RPMs of spin on their ball. What does Jackson Jobe gain? Like, if I know nothing about baseball. I look at Jackson Jobe and what makes him a good pitcher. It's the movement. It's the cachet. It's like, why are we like pushing this guy to the brink for velocity? It's like, I don't think that's what makes him a good pitcher. He looks like he's like my height to begin with. It's like, I don't know. I just think we're losing our way, but not more so than that. The position players. Mm-hmm. What is so hard about running the bases, fielding some ground ball? What, like, am I crazy? Why, like, Kerry Carpenter's had a hurt hamstring for 4 years. It feels like. From what? From what? De-aging?
I don't know.
Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand where these injuries are coming from, and they're all getting hurt. Like, if you're an outfielder and you make a dive and grab, I get that. Okay, that makes sense. But what is going on? It's every position player feels like is getting banged up every day.
I feel like I saw an interview with AJ Hinch. He said that Riley Green is basically like on the edge of injury every day, like just kind of battling stuff every day, whether it's a sore leg or a sore arm or something. He's just always battling something. The end of Miguel Cabrera's career, I mean, it was always something with him, I don't know with baseball, if it's, it used to be the people thought that they just weren't in good shape. So, you had dudes out there who just weren't in good shape. I don't think that's the case anymore. But it does seem like the injuries. I mean, it's a 162 game season too. I mean, injuries are just going to start piling up. But to me, that's what it is with the Tigers. Ted, you asked like any concerns or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think we're starting to see that maybe injuries, but they're still at the top of the MLB. So that's what I mean. It's hard to complain too much, right? Because they still have the best record in the league. But it seems like injuries might start to catch up to him. Torkelson's back in a slump. Yeah. Luckily, Baez is still hitting. He's probably going to be an all-star.
Should be.
Starting pitching past Skubal, I think, is these bullpen games. I don't even want to watch them. I don't even want to watch these bullpen games on TV. I cannot stand it. One inning out of the starting pitcher, and then you go to the bullpen, and you start. I just can't stand it. I want the days of you have a starting pitcher like Verlander, who is just going to give you 9 innings every day or every game that he pitches. I mean, after Skubal, I mean, Casey Mize has been pretty good, but he obviously has his own injury issues. But after Skubal, I think the starting pitching is iffy at best. So they got to do something there.
You're exactly right. It's funny. I didn't have seen that AJ Hinch quote. It makes sense. You look at Riley Green run. It's like the most unathletic thing I've ever seen.
It is.
That's a lot of baseball players. It's like that's where I think some of these injuries come from. It's like you look at Baez. Baez is athletic. Notice how it's like, and he's been hurt, but like I don't know. He looks like an athlete to me. A lot of these Spencer Torkelson looks like an athlete to me. Notice how he's never ever hurt. Like I don't know. It's at some point you got to get out of the batting cage and do some Jim Harbaugh, throw the football around or something pregame.
Do some yoga or something.
Stretch.
Yeah, something, man. But I'm gonna put something in the ether. I sense, and this is me being maybe overreactive to I don't even know what vibes more than anything. I sense a flame out coming. Maybe end of regular season, heading first round of playoff. I don't really know why. I haven't felt that way up until maybe this week. maybe it's just because of boredom, because of how much they're winning. I sense flame out. I didn't feel this way last year. And it's funny how AJ Hinch, and I love AJ Hinch. He is a damn good coach. But wow, we were loving. He could do no wrong last year. Now, but you know why? Because the bullpen was unreal. Like at some point, it's the players executing shit, and we're seeing it this year where it's like this opener, it ain't working. The bullpen days, they ain't working because we don't have those Jason Foley's. Even Bo Brisky was pitching damn well last year. Tyler Holton got MVP votes. Like it was those guys getting it done as much as it was the manager, and I love Chris Fetter too, but. I mean, at some point, it just comes down to the players in the field. It's not some guy, some chess master pulling all the right maneuvers all the time.
Yeah, I'm afraid I kind of lean that way too later in the season. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, I think it's going to catch up to them. They'll still probably make the playoffs, but how deep they go, it's all going to depend on their pitching. Tarek Skubal can't pitch every game in the playoffs, unfortunately.
Have you been seeing his quotes lately?
You need your starters to eat up innings. I mean,
right.
Ted, you remember 06, that team. You remember the pitcher, Nate Robertson?
Yeah.
He wasn't, I mean, he was always like around 500. It seems like
solid.
his record was always like 10-10, or like 12-10. But he pitched 8-9 innings every time he started. Yep. You need starters like that to give your bullpen a break.
Right.
When you're 2 or 3 games every week are bullpen games, your bullpen's just gonna be smoked, and you're not gonna have any stamina left. So whatever.
Well, Jared was gonna bring up Skubal's contract situation. Possibly.
It just the more and more quotes that come out from that give me the vibe that we're not meeting his demands.
I agree. Scott Boras, man. That's the answer.
I don't know. And again, it's like sometimes these deals are so absolutely ludicrous. Like it's easy for us to say spend all the money on it, spend. But sometimes you look at these baseball deals, it's like what? Like one. Okay, now let's bitch about baseball for a minute. These deals, why are they 10-year deals? We got to get this back into. That's another problem. Like
yes, it is.
I should be commissioner of every. We should be a group commissioner of these sports. It seems like easy changes that I just don't understand why they haven't been made, and it's hurting the product. 10-year deals are a joke. The Tigers can't make a 10-year deal and pay some guy $500 million. Maybe they can, but my God, it's going to bankrupt them. We're not going to put much of a roster around him. So what does it even matter? It's lame. Mm-hmm. You can't blame Skubal for it. If the Tigers can't offer him another $100 million, how do you turn down $100 million?
Right.
Lame.
Yeah, it's sad, and I'm not sure what a commissioner can do. It's America, it's capitalism. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, can't you limit contracts like in any other league? Like 4
maybe
years, maybe at most 5. I think that's the MLB is the only one that doesn't have that rule.
It does seem like
NHL
the commissioner
does
could do that because he's really representing the owners, right? And it would be to the advantage of the owners to get rid of these outrageous 10-year deals or even longer with Bobby Bonilla. He's still on the payroll.
Right. I mean, if anything, that makes it better for the franchise. Spread that contract out over 50 years.
Right.
It's easier for the franchise. And there's no salary cap. Right. I mean, if there's no salary cap in baseball, the Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, they're always going to outspend the Brewers, the Tigers, the Rays. So, I mean, that would maybe be somewhere to start. But
yeah, well, they have some decisions to make. That's for sure, because I'm not getting a great feeling either with some of the comments I saw from Skubal. So I don't know. I'd like to see him sign and pay him whatever, but it's not today's day. To me,
it's either you're signing this guy or let's like this trade deadline. Like you got to push the chips in.
Yeah,
it's these next 2 years. Like why we got him? You got to try winning. If you win a World Series and he walks, like great. Like we'll shake his hand on the way out and we'll thank Scott Harris and AJ Hinch and Chris Ilitch. Like you put a winner, you won us World Series. That's all that mattered. But if they just flame out the next 2 years and they didn't really make any big pushes, I think it's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah. I mean, part of the thing too is we said about the commissioner or whatever, the players union would have to agree to MLB having a salary cap. So, the players union is not going to agree to that. If the Mets are giving Juan Soto $300 million, and because there's no salary cap, they're not going to agree to a salary cap. So, I mean, that's probably part of the issue.
Yep, no doubt. Well, I wish I had some of that money. That's all I can say.
It's not my money. Go ahead and pay Tarek Skubal $500 million. I don't care.
Amen.
Last thing else. Who is it? Who was it? Is it Ballmer that has Microsoft like ties for the Clippers? I heard some wild stat. I have no idea if it's true. Like he's basically making $1 billion a year just off of like his Microsoft dividends. And then you got Chris Ilitch trying to compete with freaking pizza money from a $5 pizza. It's like, and I know that's NBA to MLB, but that's like there's owners like that in the. I mean, we just saw the Dodgers owner bought the freaking Lakers.
Right.
How can you? It's like we like to act like we're this mega market. Really, you know what makes a mega market? It's having that guy, and the Ilitch make some money, but it's not that.
I mean, the Mets owner Steve Cohen,
right?
His net worth is $22 billion. So I mean,
money is nothing.
Yeah, hot and ready's aren't going to be $5 anymore if we're paying Tarek Skubal. So.
They'll be 10. And how much did the Dodgers, or how much did the Lakers go for? Was that $10 billion?
$10 billion.
Yeah.
$10 billion. And I'm pretty sure when the Buss family bought them, it was only like $4 million or something crazy that. So
yeah.
Pretty solid return on investment there.
Not bad at all. All right. Well, let's wrap up this part, and we'll get to our special guest, Aaron Houle, right after this.
All right, guys, we got a fun interview coming up for you. It's the middle of the summer, but it's never too early to start thinking about high school football in the next school year. We're going to call this the Prep Spotlight here in the middle of the summer, brought to you by Jacobs Insurance. As always, Jacobs Insurance will hook you up for all your insurance needs. Head over there. Good friends of ours at Jacobs Insurance. Aaron Houle is going to join us. If you're active on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, Flint Prep Fan is his page. Give him a follow over there at Flint Prep Fan. Wherever you want to hook him up, find him on social media. If you're interested in high school sports, not just football, basketball, and other sports in the Flint area, he's a great source for recruiting news, scores, coaching changes, just everything going on in high school football, basketball in the Flint area. So, Aaron, appreciate you joining us here in late June.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me.
Good deal. Like we kind of talked before we started recording, we've interacted quite a bit on social media, mostly during high school football season, but with a few other things. And you're a great source. I mean, Jared is he's in the Detroit area. Ted is still basically in mid-Michigan. I'm out of the state now, but we grew up in the Flint area, if you want to call it that. So we still like to keep our eyes on the Flint area news and scores and everything going on with the Flint schools. And you're a great source for that. So we appreciate your coverage there. But what's your background, just before we get deep into anything else? How did you get into trying to cover some Flint area high school sports, or kind of where did that come from?
Well, I'm from Grand Blanc, so I've grown up here in the Flint area. I'm in Flushing now, so I've just always lived here my whole life. I've been going to high school sports since I was a kid with my uncles and my dad and my grandpa. So it's just kind of it's my hobby. I don't do anything, don't golf or anything like that. It's kind of my hobby that we do as a family. And that's kind of how it got started. I'm at the games. Why not report on them a little bit as well while I'm there?
Do a little bit of coverage. So did you play? And if you did play, what sports? Just curious. Did you play a little football, basketball, anything? Or where does the sport interest come from?
Yep. I've played pretty much all sports throughout my life. In high school, I played at Grand Blanc for football. For varsity for 2 years. I was on the basketball team freshman year, and then ran a little bit of track. So I've played sports all my life. My uncles have. My dad was a honorable mention All-State basketball player at Flint Holy Rosary in the 70s. So yeah, it's just I have a sports background, and it's just something I love to do. I love to be around.
What made you get into the sideline, your hobby, you call it? What made you get into it?
So I kind of have 3 reasons that I started the Flint Prep page. One, again, family. My uncle Roger, he's not a huge tech savvy person. He has Facebook. So I kind of want to just bring all the information that I get on Twitter, on Instagram, bring it over to Facebook so he can see all that information. Like I said, we've been going to basketball finals for years. My grandpa and my uncles and my dad started going in 1962 when my Uncle Roger won the state championship in basketball at Jensen Fieldhouse for basketball. So I was with Flint St. Matt's.
Nice.
So that's kind of the first reason, family, just to give my uncle the information he wants to know because he loves it. He has a sports room full of high school history. It's pretty incredible.
Like Ted's room back there. If you
Yeah,
see the background of it.
So he's got pictures of all the state championship teams for multiple sports, not just football, basketball, track and field, baseball, softball. He has it all. So he's just such a huge fan of sports. So part of it's because of him and my family. Second reason is I started this in 2022. I felt like there was kind of a lacking of a positive voice in the Flint area. I felt like on specifically on social media, I think there was a bit of negativity there. And I just wanted to be that positive voice for Flint area athletes. There's so many good athletes here that I want them to know that they're supported and just be uplifting for them and just get their names out there as much as we can. So I just wanted to have a positive impact for all those kids and for the schools in the area. And then third, I don't like how a lot of information is behind a paywall. Like with MLive scores, they're behind a paywall. Mm-hmm. Scores shouldn't have to be behind a paywall. I know the MHSA website, you can get it there, but their website is not easy to navigate for some people. So I just wanted to put it on an easy graphic. That way everyone can have the information. I want to add standings this year. I do my rankings. So yeah, those are kind of the reasons why I started the Flint Prep page.
Cool.
Are there any teams or players you're really looking forward to watching this upcoming fall in the Flint area football?
Yeah, there's a few. Grand Blanc, it's my Bobcat, so I always got to root for them, just like you guys with Corona. Yeah. So they're going to be exciting again. Made it to regionals last year. Probably expectation is the same this year for them with Jake Morrow leading them. They'll go as he goes this season. Goodrich, I think they can make another run to the state championship this year. They're returning a whole bunch of O-linemen who I think all three now have, three of them that are returning have college offers as of today, if I'm not mistaken. So their O-line, D-line is just going to tear through everybody. They got Jacoby Legat, who's getting multiple college offers at running back. Tanner Mazic at QB and DB, he's getting offers as well. So they're going to be a threat, and that's going to be an exciting game. Week 2 is Goodrich at Lapeer. So that's probably when I'm going to be at right there. Just D4, D2, I think. So, so those are a couple teams that really excited to see.
Nice. I wanted to ask you about kind of covering, like you said, you started this in 2022, but you've been going to games your whole life. Your family's been going to games their whole life. So you're plugged into the area. Do you, now that you're kind of covering it, you try to bounce around, like you said, you might go to Goodrich, Lapeer, but did you guys only stick to Grand Blanc games growing up, or did you guys sometimes see a matchup, maybe like a Goodrich, Lapeer, and instead of going to your hometown field, you would say, hey, let's head over here and go to, I don't know, Paloma, Westphalia. I don't know if that counts as Flint area, but some other schools, if you see a good matchup.
Yeah, we've always gone to the big games. I had family Lapeer West, we go to Lapeer West games. I had family play for Kersley, we'd go to Kersley games. And then, we'll go see Davis and De La Salle. And just any big game in the area, we'll go to it. I did grow up going to a lot of Grand Blanc games, but we were always open to, if there's a big game in the area or a new team coming to the area, we want to go see that new team against one of our area teams. Yeah. So we've always been just trying to bounce around, seeing the best games we have in the area.
Kind of tying into the Grand Blanc thing, they obviously have a state-of-the-art new football stadium over there. Was it a couple years old now? But in your travels, we have some affection myself to Wilman Field in Owasso. It's just a classic old stadium, and our Corona Cavalier Field, the Nick and East Stadium, really nice too. But Atwood Stadium in Flint, it still holds a lot of memories for me, an old guy. I mean, even people a lot older than me remember Atwood Stadium. Do you have a favorite stadium, and what do you got to say about maybe those old classics?
I love the old classics. So I actually, when I was a freshman, I got to play at Owasso. And that was really cool. I love the old brick stadium there. It was really, really cool to see as a freshman, like, oh, this is a really nice stadium, old and just historic. Atwood's awesome. I got to play back at Atwood when it was the AstroTurf, so we had to wear our basketball shoes on the turf. So we played Flint Southwestern at that time. Cool stadium. Cardinal Stadium over in Davison is always rocking. Their fans are loud and cool entrance right through the middle. And then I'm looking forward actually to Montrose again this year.
Okay.
That getting the new turf field for them. Looks like possibly new stands. So a bunch of.
There's some good ones, and you like to see the upgrades. It's kind of like baseball stadiums. We talk about baseball stadiums, MLB stadiums on the podcast from time to time, and obviously the new stadiums are cool, and you like the upgrades and stuff like that. But Ted recently had his first trip to Fenway Park, and there's obviously a bunch of other of the old classics. We kind of wish Tiger Stadium would have stuck around. Comerica is cool, but there's nothing like Tiger Stadium. What do you kind of think about? Obviously, you just mentioned getting the turf, the field turf, not the AstroTurf, or like Grand Blanc has the new stadium. Do you like seeing the new stadiums with the upgrades and stuff like that, or is there do you kind of wish more stadiums, more schools stuck to that? Because honestly, Nick and East Field at Corona is kind of older, but they have been doing some upgrades, new concessions, new bathroom facilities. They got a new field a couple of years ago. What do you like when you're going to cover a game? You kind of like the feel of the older stadiums?
I do. I think I always love seeing the new upgrades and the communities being willing to put the money into their schools and be willing to do that for their kids. I like the old stuff, but I love seeing the turf coming in, seeing the colorful fields. I know Flushing is in the process of building a new stadium. So I don't think that'll be open till 2027, if I'm not mistaken.
Jeez.
But yeah, I like seeing all the upgrades.
Yeah.
Who's the best player you've ever seen? Flint area.
Oh. Mark Ingram.
That's the easy one.
Good call.
And I was lucky because when I was a freshman, he was a junior at Grand Blanc. So he hadn't transferred to Flint Southwestern till his senior year. So I go to get water and I'm standing right next to Mark Ingram, future Heisman winner. It's just crazy, and he played for 3 years starting varsity at Grand Blanc, and he was just amazing to watch run the ball.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be a future Heisman winner at Alabama, you know what you're doing in high school. Yeah. I was going to ask something along those lines. Well, maybe a couple more questions. We'll get you out of here tonight. But so there's your story. You talk about your family, grandpa, uncles, everyone in your family growing up. Do they have, what are like some of the tall tales that you've heard 27 times? Your grandpa telling the same story about some game in 1972 or something like that. Are there any that like stick out that your grandpa or an uncle has told like over and over again? That you actually question is that if it's true or not?
Yeah. I guess one that kind of stays in my memory, it's not so much Flint area, but it was at the Silver Dome, and my cousin was a huge Detroit St. Martin de Porres fan, and they were winning championship after championship, and then they had to play USA, Unionville Seaboing, one year, and USA beating de Porres was just like huge because we were just ragging on my cousin, and he had a shirt with all of the championships on there, and we took a shirt and got printed on it the score with USA winning it and put it on the back of his shirt.
Nice.
Evil.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to do that. I mean, it's your cousin. You got to rag him a little bit. Well,
Oh yeah.
hey man, we appreciate you taking some time to chat with us and kind of introduce yourself to the podcast. What are the plans? I mean, you mentioned kind of upgrading your graphics and stuff like that a little bit, having standings on there and some other things. So you've kind of through 2.5 years into your project. What's kind of where do you see it going? What's your next big plan? Or you're going to bring an intern on at some point, or kind of how are you going to make Flint Prep Fan grow?
Right now it's just going to be me. I am just starting to videotape a little bit just with my phone. I was lucky this past weekend. Coach Harris at Carmen Ainsworth invited me out to a 7-on-7. So I got to see Atherton, Bendel, Carmen, Saginaw United, Lansing Sexton, Lansing Eastern, and Pontiac all compete in a 7-on-7. So I was able to get some video of that. And then weather permitting, this Wednesday, I'm going to try to go to Goodrich for their 7-on-7. That'll have, I think, Fenton, Powers, Montrose there. So get some video of that. And then Coach Four at Grand Blanc said I'm welcome to come to any of their 7-on-7s in July as well. So just trying to get some video, maybe getting on the sidelines now, and just trying to get some highlights.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people like to see. I mean, when on a Friday night on Twitter and, Instagram, Facebook too, but really on Twitter, I mean, it's just constant updates of highlights and scores and stuff like that. And then if you can get a post-game interview or two, or even pre-game, it is pretty cool to see that stuff. Different than my day, definitely different from Ted's day, even a little different from Jared's day. I mean, that was kind of certain then, but no, man, we love seeing what you're doing. Why don't you let our listeners know where they can follow you, maybe the handle, and just kind of anything else you have going on right now.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. The handle's at Flint Prep Fan. And yeah, just looking forward to the season coming up here in a little bit.
Good deal. Well, if you're ever out at Corona, I probably won't be there, but you'll have to hit Ted up and maybe have a slice of pizza with him at the concession stand or something.
Absolutely. Come on up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was fun stuff with Aaron. It's nice to always have another member of our pigskin posse, we'll call it, that we can get updates and previews of teams. While we're on the Prep Spotlight, a couple things I want to just get on the table, officially closing the door. In baseball, Chesaning Indian Brady Sager was named the Argus Press Baseball Player of the Year. He averaged 15 strikeouts on the mound per 7-inning game, multiple no-hitters. At the plate, he hit .523 with 4 homers and 46 RBIs. And named first team D3 All-State. I also got this one kind of for you, Matt. In softball, Perry's Sarah Austin named the Argus Softball Player of the Year. She had 24 wins, 355 Ks with a 0.95 ERA. Also named D3 first team. Finished her career with over 1,000 strikeouts, top 50 all time, according to the MHSAA record book. Other area first-team All-Staters included Owasso catcher Addie Freeman, New Lothrop backstop Victoria Hennigy, and her teammate outfielder Ava Thorsby. But very cool first-teamers led by Sarah Austin there.
Yeah, she had an awesome season. She's going to be pitching at, I think I mentioned it before, but she's going to Madonna to pitch in college. Okay. So she'll be moving right on, probably starting practice here in a couple of weeks for college. So, yeah, congrats to all of them, though.
And one final thing here. We haven't talked about it yet, but it's definitely official. Since we're 3 Corunna guys, congratulations to the new Corunna Cavalier boys basketball coach, Logan LePage. LePage most recently has assisted the Freeland Falcons' successful hoops program under Coach Johnny Fattel. And, LePage is a young one. He gets to mold his program the way he wants it. 2018 Corunna High grad, but, he's got a little bit rebuilding to do over there in Corunna, but he's a good guy to do it. He has energy. He has some good experience. He has a good repertoire with the players. This is going to be a good hire, I think, for the Cavaliers.
I think so, too. To me, a home run hire if you're looking at Corunna. I know he's going to do a great job with the weight room. I know he's going to care. I know he's going to put in the work. So I'm excited to see what the future of Corunna basketball holds. I mean, like you said, a little bit of a rebuild right now, get back on track. But from what I'm hearing, they got some good talent coming through the pipeline. So should be a little bit of a lull, and then they should be right back to being pretty dang good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Was he assisting Johnny, or was he coaching JV or something at Freeland?
Yeah, varsity assistant. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I think he's been doing that now 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah, so congrats to him. And again, thanks to the Jacobs Insurance Agency for always being a big partner of ours and our sponsor of the Prep Spotlight. All right, we'll take a break and be right back right after this. All right, guys, that was some good stuff there. You know, it kind of gets me excited for high school football. We're still a little bit away. Before we wrap up this podcast, just one thing on Tedtertainment, Jaws, the 50th anniversary. Right. That was on NBC and Peacock on Sunday night, the 50th anniversary. 26-year-old Steven Spielberg directed it. His second film, I think, ever. I don't know. I know you've seen it. Jared, you've seen the movie, haven't you?
Yep.
10 years ago, I saw the 40th edition. I was out in Long Island on a vacation, saw it at the theater. You know, it was a 40th anniversary edition.
That's cool.
But as far as movies being made and blockbusters, you can't beat Jaws, man. It was just the song, you know, dun, 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 dun,
yep.
Just classic.
I mean, Ted, 50 years. I mean, Ted, you probably the same because you're the same age as my parents. I've heard my parents talk about going to the theater to see Jaws and just how incredible that movie theater experience was. Because again, at the time, there was no movie like it. There was nothing else like that. Nowadays, we got Shark Week and Sharknado and all this other kind of stuff. But Jaws, I mean, that's one of those that it's like, it's one of my favorite movies, Jaws. Mm-hmm. I wish I could have been alive for that opening night movie theater experience for Jaws. That would have been really cool.
And what is so special about the 50th? Like, do they, you know, is there new footage? Are they like Star Wars where they're digitally rendering and changing things every 10 years, or is it just like it's just a celebration that's 50 years old, basically?
I think there was some new footage that they added into it. I thought I read that somewhere. I know I got it recorded. I saw the very beginning. Steven Spielberg was on, kind of doing a little bit of narration leading up to the movie, but the whole plot of it was just awesome. You know, some Ted bits for you. I don't know. You know a guy named Charleston Heston? He played Moses. He wanted to play the sheriff of Amityville, and he didn't get the job. Spielberg wanted Roy Scheider instead. Did you know the shark made his first appearance an hour and 21 minutes into the film, where you actually saw the shark?
Right.
That's true. You don't see it for a while.
No, they just kind of build up the drama. That was filmmaking, man. It was awesome. And it was a great adaptation of the book, you know. Right. It was pretty incredible. And the famous line, you're going to need a bigger boat.
All time.
Completely ad-libbed. It wasn't in the script.
Right. I have seen that. That's pretty cool. That's what makes movies. And like you said, the music. The music is incredible.
It really
it's eerie. It's not like a scary movie, like a Scream, or like a stabber movie or whatever. Slasher movie is what I meant to say. It's not that kind of eerie. It's just like the dark water, and they're out there in the middle of the ocean, and then doing it, you know, like it is just creepy. I saw some campground or something. It was like some resort. They in the summer they would show the movie on a big screen. You know, they have like a lake or whatever, a pond in the middle of their resort, and they would show the movie on a big screen, and you could float in the middle of the water in the lake and watch Jaws. That'd be pretty wild to be sitting there floating.
I hate being out in the deep water, like anywhere. Like I remember being like, I would go tubing, you know, whatever on Houghton Lake or something like that. You get booted off the tube, and you're just like you're treading water for like 5 minutes. I hated that, man. I was petrified the whole time. I can't imagine doing that. That's horrible. And you mentioned what makes that movie, it's the theme. Yeah. I was just having this thought to myself, like, I'm bored. I was rewatching The Last Dance, which Michael Jordan, you can't make it up enough. Just all time cool cat. He's the best. Maybe he might go over LeBron. I might have changed tune. But when you flip on that doc and you hear this song, hopefully you don't get sued, but wait for it. Wait for the beat to drop. It's like you can picture that intro, and it's just anyway. There's nothing like those classical instrumentals that like can kind of blow you away, like when you aren't like so.
It shows how important music is, you know.
Right. That was probably John Williams, wasn't it?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
probably.
I mean, he has the long list, obviously, of the scores that he has done for movies. He obviously knows what he's doing. It makes the movie. It really does. Because if you
Yeah.
think about that movie, and if there was some like cheesy song, or if they use like, like popular like actual music or something, it wouldn't be the same. So no, and the acting, I mean, really, like when you read through the thread of, Charleston Heston is a legend,
Right.
but they hit it with all the actors in the movie, and the three dudes on the boat, like that scene where they're drunk and singing, and he tells the joke about the scar and stuff. Like that scene is just, you've seen it 30 times or whatever, but you laugh every time, and it's just, the whole movie is so good.
Yes.
I've seen Jaws, but I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old. How does it end? I'm guessing they kill Jaws.
Yeah.
You can spoil it. I mean, at this point, it's been 50 years.
You don't want to know how, right? Do you want to know how?
Just tell me how they kill him, man.
They throw in the oxygen tank or whatever.
Yeah, they throw the oxygen tank and then shoot the oxygen tank. Kaboom!
Blows up in his mouth.
Yes.
And then they're paddling back on what, like a little 2x4 or something
everywhere.
like that. And
right. And it was only Scheider and Dreyfus, right?
Right. Yeah, because the one got eaten. He got eaten. So
wow,
he got
that's brilliant. At least there was something to it. Yeah, I mean, it's all-time movie. Like the thing that blew me away, Spielberg, 26 years old. That's how old I am right now.
Right.
Nuts.
Well, check it out, man. 50th anniversary. Check it out.
Check it out. It also goes to show how cool things were before CGI and all that kind of stuff. It was an actual, I mean, obviously not an actual shark, but like an actual animatronic robot shark. Nowadays, if they did Jaws, that would be some CGI, some fake,
and look horrible,
green screen type of thing or whatever.
Have you guys ever been to Universal and seen the Jaws?
Yeah, I never got on the Jaws ride. I don't think.
No.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It looks awesome. Like from what I've seen pictures of it. In video, it looks awesome. I just never got on it.
You know what? You just never know where this damn podcast is going to go, do you? Any topic, we'll just go into it. That's all fun. Well, let's call it a podcast, fellers. I want to give special thanks out to Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center, voted the best health club gym in 2025. Check them out on Facebook. I want to thank our other great partners. They include AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, the Shiawassee County Fair and ALS of Michigan. Don't forget, if you're local here, go check out Chi-Town in downtown Durand, Wednesday night, June 25th, 7 o'clock show. I always have a great turnout for that one. And again, special thanks to Aaron Houle. You can check him out at Flint Prep Fan. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind. Thanks for listening and stay cool out there.